Okay. So, right. So, what did we discuss in the last class? What did we discuss in the last class? After discussing the SSL protocol stack, we discussed about the cryptographic computation of the key, how to compute the master secret. So that was the first thing which we discussed, computation of a master secret key. Okay, so how do we generate the master secret key? Okay, how do we do that? I gave you an equation, right, yesterday, how to compute the master secret key. So master secret is nothing but a session state parameter. Okay, a secret that's being shared between the client and the server. Okay, so K is equal to, it's a function of S, comma, the random numbers from both the sides. Okay, so that's how you generate your master secret. Then we looked into the client authentication. Okay, so the client authenticating the server, but the server does not authenticate the client. Okay, so in case there is a certificate request, then the client will respond to that. Okay, then we looked into how the public key infrastructure is being deployed by your secure socket layer. Okay, and I told you these days clients are coming with I mean they are configured with the public keys from trusted organizations. Okay, and those many organizations are being trusted by the browser vendor, but then user always have the facility to modify the list. You can add the key or delete the key. Okay, so all those provisions are there. Okay, so in case the server is presenting a certificate which is not from a trusted source, then you always have the provision to reject it. Then again, another issue is the certificate request. The name of the certificate signing authority may not be a sufficient description. Okay, so instead you can send hashes of the public key. Okay, so rather than sending a single certificate, you can always send a chain of certificates. Okay, so that's possible in SSL version 3 as well as in TLS. Okay, then what was the next thing that we discussed? The next thing was about negotiating about the cipher suits. Okay, so what was cipher suit about? What is cipher suit all about? Cipher suit. What is cipher suit about? Binoy, what is cipher suit? What is cipher suit?
No idea, ma'am.
No idea. Did not listen in yesterday's class. Does anybody have any idea what the cipher suit is all about? Cipher suit. What this cipher suit? This is what I'm asking. What this cipher suit is about? Can someone else answer? Jitender, what is the cipher suit about which I'm telling? Ila? So nobody is listening in the class, right? I keep telling something, blabbering something, and I leave. Nobody listens in the class. So the cipher suit is nothing but the set of cryptographic algorithms. Okay, so to secure the transfer of data, your TLS or your SSL will be using one or more cipher suits. Okay, so when you say a set of cryptographic algorithms, it will be a combination of your authentication algorithm, encryption algorithm, MAC algorithm, integrity checksum algorithm, and everything. Okay, so they are actually used during the negotiation of security settings for your TLS or your SSL connection, as well as for the transfer of data. Okay, so I also mentioned that it's a complete package, how it is in SSL version 2 and how it is in SSL version 3. Okay, so these are just one method of security that the organization should be having. Okay, the cipher suits. Okay, then we started looking into yeah, this was one of the issue which can happen when you start defining your own cipher suits. Okay, so you mean you can choose any number out of the 256 reserved numbers, but then there's no guarantee that someone else won't define their own private suit and choose the same number. So in such case, I mean, if two such systems having the two private suits having the same number and they are agreeing on the same suit, but then, and if they attempt to talk, they will not be interoperating. Okay, then who makes the decision in cipher suit? I mean, SSL version 2. Okay, so Alice, that is the client, makes the decision. Inside version 3, it is a server which makes the decision and chooses one which is acceptable for both and makes the decision. Okay, then we looked into the cipher suit names, how a name will look like. Okay, so you can see here how a name will look like. Okay, then after that we started looking into the attacks. Attacks. Okay, so first we discussed about one type of attack called downgrading attack. Okay, so what is this? What I mean, downgrading attack as far as version 2 and version 3 is concerned. Okay, so what is this downgrading attack? Downgrading attack. Tricking the client and the server to use an older version of the protocol. Okay, to make, I mean, exploiting the flaws, whatever was there in the older versions of the protocol. Okay, so that's the target of the adversary. Okay, it's a sort of man in the middle attack, and then they will be capable of intercepting or modifying the network traffic. Okay, so I mean, hardcore hackers are the people who do a downgrade attack. Then I told you there are different types of downgrading attack. It could be a poodle, or it could be a freak or a logjam. So which was discussed by many people, I mean, different people in the class. Okay, so then, okay, so modern your TLS protocol clients and server, they support the old protocol versions also. Okay, and they provide some sort of backward compatibility between the various clients and the servers. Okay, so then disabling the insecure protocol or the algorithm can reduce the severity, but then that is a costly option. Okay, so then we also looked into, I think yesterday I also mentioned about how your transport layer protocol version 3, how it tries to prevent the downgrading attacks. Okay, so how, yeah, you can see here, it's mentioned here, puts a finished message. Okay, it requires both the client and the server to send a finished message which contains a MAC over all the previous handshake messages. Okay, so that is to ensure that the parameters are not being modified in the middle by a attacker. Okay, so what exactly happens is that messages, that certificate and certificate to verify, it's actually an optional message. Optional message. So I think when we discussed about the various phases, I'll just take you back and show you. So you can see here, these are optional. The certificate request. So they're all being shaded in gray. Shaded in gray means it's optional. Okay, so okay, so those messages are included only if it is present. Okay, and that's what. And your version 3 provides a downgrading mechanism, which will be embedded in the server's random nonce message. That is in the server hello message. A random nonce will be included. Okay, so a random bit. So that also I had showed you. This server hello had many parameters. So one of the parameter is this nonce parameter. Okay, so what basically happens is, for example, say I am the server and I'm currently supporting TLS version 1.3 and I got a connection from the client which says that it supports only TLS 1.2 or lower, whereas the server is supporting version 1.3. Okay, so but then in this case, it's okay. So what I'll do is I'm going to put a message called downgrade. I'll put a downgrade message. So the message what I'll put is a downgrade. Just a second. Okay, so I'll put a downgrade message. I'll put this downgrade message to my server hello.random. Server hello.random. Okay, so I'll put this message to this. Okay, so that will let the client know that I'm actually supporting a higher version, that I am supporting 1.3 and the client is having a lower version called 1.2 or lower. Okay, so that's what. Okay, so this will let the client know that I am actually supporting a higher version protocol, but I was asked to use a lower version. So that's one way of avoiding your downgrade attack. Okay, so on the other hand, on the reverse hand, suppose I am a client and I am supporting TLS version 1.3. So in my, I'm the client. So rather than the server hello, it will be the client hello message. So in my client hello message, I asked the server to use TLS 1.3. Okay, but then suddenly I get a message, a server hello message, which says that the server is supporting only TLS 1.2 or lower. Okay, so what I will do is I will check if the server hello.random it has got a downgrade message or not. Okay, then if so, otherwise, somebody in the middle, they're trying to, run a downgrade attack, and that should be stopped. So that is one way of checking. Okay, so these are all ways of preventing your downgrade attacks. Okay, then we looked in. Okay, that was all this we had discussed. Okay, so who makes a decision? Oh, it's going up. Okay. Right. So that was about your downgrading attack. So now coming to the truncation attack. So this is a second type of attack. Okay. So previously what we had discussed is the downgrading attack. So this is one type of attack. Then this is about truncation attack. Okay. So in truncation attack, attacker will insert a message, attacker inserts into a message a TCP code indicating the message has finished. So thus preventing the recipient picking the rest of the message. Okay, so that is message finish. Message finish is being put. Okay, truncating. So to prevent this, SSL from version 3 onwards has a closing handshake. So the recipient knows the message has not ended until it has been performed. Okay, so that's what the truncation attack, and how do we take care of it. Okay, inserting into the message a TCP code. Okay, right. So next is about these other two attacks which are being taken care in SSL version 3. Okay, so next is about exportability. Okay, so at some point, maybe during the lifespan of your SSL certificate, okay, it may be necessary for you to export it from a server, or you may have to export it across various platforms. Okay, so this, this is all about export control. Okay, so what are the rules and regulations? What are the stipulations? What are the government policies? So generally, it's the US which decides the policy, which is being followed by all the countries. So what are the export control policies which are being implemented? Okay, so what is being deployed and what must be implemented in order to be compatible with that version, whatever is being deployed. Okay, so we should understand the mechanism behind it, or what are the rules and regulations as far as exportability is concerned. Okay, what is being implemented, what is being deployed and what is available. So whether both of them match, okay, the versions. The first, yeah, this is with respect to version 2 and this is with respect to version 3. Okay, so as far as secure socket layer version 2 is concerned, okay, so encryption was actually limited to 40-bit secret keys. Okay, so this is as per your US export laws. This is as per your US export laws. It was limited to 40-bit secret keys. Okay, but then the actual cryptographic algorithm will be supporting, will be using a 128-bit key. Okay, so the US government has limited the exportable cryptographic keys to 40 bits. Okay, so there are two types. One is, you can see here, exportable suite, cipher suite, and non-exportable cipher suites. So non-exportable means your domestic ones, domestic cipher suites. Okay, so in exportable suites, okay, instead of sending a 128-bit secret encrypted with the server's public key. So what the client will do is, since there is a limitation of 40-bit secret, okay, so the 40-bit secret will be encrypted with the server's public key, and the remaining, because only 40-bit can be secret, so the remaining 88 bits will be sent in clear. So this will be clear text. This will be clear and this will be a secret. Okay, so that's what. So this is in the case of your exportable cipher suites. Okay, so instead of sending a 128-bit secret key, 128-bit secret key, which is being encrypted with your server's public key, the server will, I mean, the client will send a 40-bit secret encrypted with the 88 bits plain text, or you can say clear text. Okay, and then yeah, so in exportable suite, there will always be 40-bit secret and 88-bit clear, I mean, non-secret bits. Just a second. Okay, sorry. So I was telling about, yeah, the exportability issues as far as the laws are concerned. Okay, so in exportable suites, 40 bits will be secret bits, and 88 bits will be non-secret bits. Okay, so whereas in your SSL version 2, the domestic clients, so the domestic clients will be supporting 128-bit encryption. Okay, but then yeah, that's what, in a non-exportable suite, there will be 128 bits, 128 secret bits. Okay, so in either case, there are 128 bits. Okay, I mean, and in SSL version 2, so it is called, actually, in it is known by a name. It is called as client master key. Client master key. Okay, so this client master key, whatever it will be 128 bits. Okay, so it's a 128 bit client master key. But then, though you call it as the client master key and other things, only 40 bits are kept as secret. Remaining 88 bits are actually plain text. Okay, so this actually this client master key is the key which is being used to produce your session keys and other things. Okay, so okay, then again regarding your, here you can see here. Okay, so the export laws, the US export laws, it mentions that encryption is limited to 40-bit secret keys. And 40-bit secret key, and then another thing is 512 bits RSA key. Okay, so this is what I'm marking here. Okay, so that's what it says. Encryption is limited to 40-bit secret key and 512-bit RSA encryption key. Okay, so the exportable servers will be having 512-bit RSA key. Okay, so the domestic servers will be having even larger RSA key. It can have 1024 bits key. Okay, so in case a domestic server is trying to talk to an exportable client, then the client would wind up sending its 40-bit secret key in the domestic server's large RSA key, that is 1024 bit RSA key. Okay, but then though it is technically legal, that was what was happening in SSL version 2. Okay, but then that particular approach was not permitted in SSL version 3. Okay, so in SSL version 3, you can see here in SSL version 3, I mean, they try to solve this problem by generating or by having what is called, you can see here, ephemeral key. It tries to create what is called an ephemeral key. Any idea what is called an ephemeral key? We had discussed about this ephemeral key somewhere before. Do you remember where it was? Ephemeral key. A temporary, a one-time key. A temporary or a one-time key. Okay, so that key can be changed periodically. It can be changed periodically. Okay, so when a domestic server communicates with an external client, the server creates what is called an ephemeral key of 512 bits and signs it with its 1024 bit key. It creates a temporal, a one-time key. That's what is called a ephemeral key. Okay, so that will be a improvised version compared to your SSL version 2. Okay, so the key can be changed periodically. It's a, if you take that same Alice Bob example, what we discussed in the previous class. So the server, that is the Bob, will be generating a random 512-bit RSA key. So this key can be changed periodically, and it's being signed by the server, that's by Bob, using his long-term key. So that 512-bit key is what is called your ephemeral key. Okay, so the difference is in SSL version 2, I think that was already told. Yeah, in SSL version 2, the client will choose the cipher suit, but in SSL version 3, the server will choose the cipher suit. Okay, so all these aspects has to be taken into consideration. So that's regarding the exportability in SSL version 2 and 3. Okay, so it's all about export control. Export control. So we need to understand the mechanisms, what is being deployed and what must be implemented in order to be compatible with whatever is being deployed. Okay, so generally when we do this, that one concept which comes into picture is they call it as weak crypto and strong crypto. This is another popular terminology which comes up, strong crypto. Okay, so this is weak cipher and strong cipher. What do you mean by this weak cipher and strong cipher? Weak cipher and strong cipher. Okay, so generally what we say is larger the key size, the stronger the cipher, or stronger the crypto. Okay, so the weak cipher means if the key size is less than 128 bits. Okay, 128 bits. If it is less than 128 bits, then we call it as a weak cipher or a weak crypto. If it is more than 128 bit, so we call it as a strong cipher or a strong crypto. Okay, so the larger the key size, the stronger the cipher. Okay, so it all depends. I mean, what type of key key is being used. Okay. So now coming to the next topic. We discussed about the exportability issues. We just discussed about it. What happens in as far as SSL version 3 is concerned and SSL version 2 is concerned. In 2, it is being limited to 40-bit secret key and 512-bit RSA key. And what happens in our SSL version 3, we have what is called an ephemeral key. Ephemeral key, which provides a little more flexibility or a stronger control. Okay, so next is all about encoding. Okay, so encoding, when I say, actually you should understand there are three terminologies which come up. One, I mean, we keep telling all these, we keep using all these terminologies intermittently. One is called encoding. Encoding, as I have mentioned here in the PPT. Another one is encryption. And next is hashing. Okay, so you would have noticed across all the various units, I would have used all these terminologies, especially encryption and hashing was used in many places. Okay, so of course I have been briefing about all these things, but I felt at this particular point of time it is very important to understand the difference between what is encoding, what is encryption, and what is hashing. Okay, so can anybody explain what is the difference between all these? What is encoding, what is encryption, and what is hashing? Okay, so I think people are all sleeping. Okay, I'll just show you what is encoding. First, we'll see what is encoding. You can see here an example for an encoding. Okay, so encoding means you're basically trying to transform the data so that it can be, properly or safely being propagated to a different type of a system, or it's being consumed by a different type of a system. For example, when you want to send some binary data over the email, or you want to view certain special characters on the web page. Okay, so encoding means you don't want to keep the information secretly. That is not the purpose of encoding. Okay, so our objective is to, it's able to be properly consumed. Okay, so different types of encodings are there. You would have heard about ASCII encoding, or you would have heard about Unicode encoding, okay, or URL encoding. URL encoding. These are all various encoding schemes or base64 encoding. Okay, so encoding will not use any key. Okay, so the only thing that is required is encoding. The opposite is decoding. Okay, so decoded is an algorithm that was used to encode it. Okay, that's all. There's no concept of key as far as your encoding is concerned. Okay, it's just transforming the data. So that it can be viewed by a different type of a system. Okay, so that's what your encoding is all about. You can see here. Converting the data into a sequence of, say, let's say characters, symbols, alphabets, okay, all these things. This is one type of encoding. Okay, so this is actually, okay, maybe for one of the objective is secure transmission of data. Okay, so the opposite process is what is called decoding. So decoding means extracting the information from the converted format. Okay, so the objective is not to keep the information secret or anything, but then it should be properly reachable to whatever system it is being intended in the correct manner. Okay, so that is what is encoding. Then coming to encryption. So you can see here encryption. So you can see here encryption. What is encryption? Encryption, I keep on telling. What is encryption all about? Encryption. This is encryption. What is encryption? We are in 4th unit. We are learning network security. I'm just asking what is encryption or what is the purpose of encryption? Can somebody tell who is not sleeping in the class? Gayatri, what is encryption? Gayatri is fully asleep. Dipanshu? Nobody is there in the class, so I'm all alone. I can see 49 students present in the Google Meet.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. Oh my God, I'm feeling miserable because 3rd unit of network security I'm teaching and I'm an unfortunate faculty. The students don't know what is an encryption.
I'm converting the information into secret
yeah,
code.
that's all. Converting, transforming the information into, somebody's trying to put the information in chat window. Okay, Malavika is trying to respond. Okay, implementing security from others, accessing it, ma'am. Very good, Malavika, yes. Or as the other person said, transforming the data in order to keep it secretly from others. Okay, for example, you're sending someone a secret letter that only they should be able to read it, or you are sending a password securely over the internet. Okay, so here we are not focusing on the usability. Okay, so the objective is it should not be consumed by others. It should be read or understood only by the intended participants. Okay, so this encryption will transform your data into some other format in which only some intended targeted audience can reverse that particular transformation. Okay, so this basically makes use of your key. Your encoding doesn't make use of any key. Okay, encryption makes use of your key. Okay, which will be kept secret. Okay, so that will be kept along with your plain text. Plain text gets converted to, on applying the encryption technique, it gets converted to what is called a ciphertext. Okay, so this encryption makes use of the key. Okay, so which will be kept along with your plain text and the algorithm in order to perform the encryption operation. Okay, so then your ciphertext, algorithm, and key, they are all returned. They are all required to get the plain text back into the original form. Okay, for encryption, there are various algorithms. Okay, anyway, that is not the preview of your syllabus. In encryption, we have all these AES, RSA, Blowfish. There are so many algorithms are being used. Okay, so that's the purpose of encryption. Confidentiality, confidentiality through encryption. Confidentiality. Okay, so the third one is last unit and all, we kept on telling about what is called hashing. Okay, hashing. Okay, so this is another terminology. So all these things you should be knowing. These are the fundamental basic blocks on which the various network security concepts actually lie. Okay, so hashing is actually for the purpose of ensuring integrity. Okay, so in case there is a tampering en route, okay, so you come to know that it's actually being changed. Okay, so this is actually being done. This hashing is a technique which is generally being done along with the authentication. Okay, so to produce a strong evidence that a given message has not been modified. Okay, so you generally take the given input, hash it, and then signing the hash. Then you sign the hash with the sender's private key. Okay, then at the destination, when the recipient opens the message, then they can then validate the signature of the hash with the sender's public key and then hash the message themselves and compare it with the hash that was signed by the sender. Okay, so in case there is a match, then no issue. In case it is a mismatch, then we can make out that it's not being sent by the correct person. Okay, so all these techniques we had discussed, especially in PGP, PGP and various other techniques, we had we were discussing about hashing, comparing the hash and checking, ensuring whether it is coming from the correct place or not. Okay, so again, hashing techniques, n number of hashing techniques are there. Okay, we have this SHA algorithm, SHA with various variants. Right now, SHA-3 is there. Then MD5 has become almost obsolete, but still, message digest 5, these are all hashing techniques. Okay, so that's another one. Okay, then there is one more technique that's only for your information sake. I'm telling, there's something called obfuscation. But then that we have not discussed as a part of our any of the techniques what we have discussed in network security. But then this is also something which popularly comes across. For your information sake, I'm just telling you. Have you heard of this? What is called obfuscation? Anybody? Obfuscation. Nobody, yeah?
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, in obfuscation, what you're basically trying to do is one particular message or something, you make it harder for a person to understand. Okay. So, it is basically like you're making it more difficult to attack or copy. You're increasing the hardness level, or you're making something harder to understand. Okay. Usually for the purpose of I mean, trying to avoid it getting attacked or copy. Okay, so generally, like in marketing and product engineering and all, you have this obfuscation of the source code. So it's harder to replicate a given product, even if it is being reverse engineered. Okay, so privacy and copyright issues. To take care of all these aspects. Okay, so they do. They obfuscate the source code so that it's harder to replicate the product even if it's being reverse engineered. Okay, so but then this is not a very strong control, just like your encryption or anything. So it is just like you are creating some sort of obstacle. Okay, it's creating some sort of obstacle, that's all. Creating some sort of obstacle. Okay, so that's what your obfuscation is all about. Okay, you have things like JavaScript obfuscators and all are there, ProGuards are there, which just one step ahead for making it difficult for the attacker or the person to copy. So that's what is all about your. So I was just trying to explain these three things. What is there is a PPT. Okay, what is basically encoding, which doesn't require a key? What is encryption, and what is hashing? Okay, so in SSL uses this particular syntax. Okay, the packet encodings in SSL or TLS specifications are expressed in pseudo ASN .1 syntax. Okay, so that is again, encoding with characters and symbols. Characters and symbols. So the packet encodings comes with this particular format. Okay, so next, right? So with that, we almost come to an end of SSL. So we have TLS and SCT, Secure Electronic Transactions, pending in the 4th unit. So before that, I want you to do a small exercise. Okay, in the sense, I want you to find out the difference between, I said that SSL and TLS comes as a family and SSL is a predecessor of TLS. Okay, so you find out the difference between SSL and TLS. The difference between SSL and TLS. Okay, so I want you to find out this. What's the difference between your SSL and TLS? Not at a later point of time, right now. Right now, by the time I'm taking attendance. And after that, after taking the attendance, I'll call out some random number and you have to respond. There is no ifs and buts and no excuses of any sort. You need to respond and give me an answer. That is the difference between SSL and TLS. Otherwise, you will be marked as absent. There's no other way. I hope it's clear. You need to find out the difference between, though they both belong to the same family here, SSL and TLS, both meant for web security. there is some markable difference between your SSL and TLS. So find out the difference between your SSL and TLS and tell me at the end of once I complete my attendance. Randomly, I'll be asking somebody. So the person who don't respond will be marked as absent. Okay, so answer your attendance. Shruti.
Present, ma'am.
So please find it out. Please find it out and be ready to share the information. I'll be calling out somebody whose names I have not called out so far. Ryan. Ryan is there?
Yes, ma'am. SSL and TLS difference you're asking, ma'am.
Yes. I've put in the chat window here. No, I'm not asking you the question right now.
Oh, I thought I have to say it right now.
Okay. You be prepared. I'll ask somebody. Okay. Dipanshu Kumar, answer your attendance. Vishal. Vishal is there. Vishal is not there. Nitish, 37.
Present, ma'am.
Shruti Kaushik.
Yes, ma'am.
Darshini.
Present, ma'am.
Fatima.
Present, ma'am.
Sai Satish. Okay, noted. Santosh.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Jeevesh. 133.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Nityashri. Okay. Ayushi.
Present, ma'am.
Reson. 23.
Present.
Sarthak.
Present, ma'am.
Pranay Matthew.
Present, ma'am.
Rishon. 31. Rishon. Okay, noted. Anshuman.
Present, ma'am.
Rajanish Yadav.
Present, ma'am.
Vedika.
Present, ma'am.
Hope all of you are doing it. Manthan. Okay, noted. Aman Vora.
Present, ma'am.
Shaktiya.
Present, ma'am.
Vaishak.
Present, ma'am.
Amrita.
Present, ma'am.
Malavika.
Chat
Okay,
box.
noted. Megha Sinha.
Present, ma'am.
Nikita.
Present, ma'am.
Sai Gopal.
Present, ma'am.
Shreya Pradeep. Okay, noted. Gayatri. Okay, noted. Akashdeep. 89. No response. 90. Ilaraj.
Present, ma'am.
Sarangaraja. No response.
Chat, ma'am.
Chat window. Sarangaraja's message I didn't see. Where did he put? Sarangaraja text in chat. Oh, okay, noted. Fine. 101. Yeah. Got it. Fine.
101 present.
101 is present. Jitendra is present. Rajagopalan. Okay, noted. Binoy. 107.
Present, ma'am. Present.
Okay. Animal Kumar.
Ma'am, present, ma'am.
Okay. Karthikeyan. 123 is absent. Ashwini.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. 142. Arjun. Arjun is absent. Akash Kumar Singh.
Present, ma'am.
Venkat.
Chat, ma'am.
Okay, Akash is present. Venkat is present. Mitra Lakshmi.
Present, ma'am.
Aparna.
Present, ma'am.
Akansha Singh.
Present, ma'am.
Mihika.
Present, ma'am.
Vignesh. 234. Arjun present. Where were you, Arjun? 142. 234 is present. Vignesh. No response. Swastik. 241. Swastik Johari. Absent. 46. Jagadeep.
Present, ma'am.
Ma'am, 234 has put in chat.
Where Why is it not coming? There's nothing for me to scroll down.
A is 234, ma'am.
260,
Fastic Jawhari has put in chat.
241, no? Okay, fine, noted. 241 is there. What about 234? 234 is also present.
A dot.
Okay, got it. Thank you. 34, 41, 46, 63 are present. What about 267? Abdul Ahad? No response. Jashwant Parashar? So 67 and 76 are absent. Who's this? Binoy John is putting a message. 107. Okay, 107 is noted. Okay. So I hope all of you have found out the difference between your SSL and TLS by now. Okay, so can Akash Kumar Singh tell me the difference between SSL and TLS? 151. 151.
Yes, ma'am.
Please discuss. I'll stop sharing just a second.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, tell me the difference between SSL and TLS.
Ma'am,
I want all
SSL.
of you. I want all of you to listen. Okay, this is in fact the topic to be discussed next before we start with TLS. Okay, so I want all of you to listen to this. Okay, so I will not be discussing this anymore. The difference between TLS and SSL.
Ma'am, SSL stands for security socket layer, whereas
Fine.
TLS stands for transport layer security.
Yes.
SSL supports Forteza algorithm, ma'am, and TLS does not support Forteza algorithm. And then SSL is a 3.0 version, whereas TLS is 1.0 version. SSL message digest is used to create master secret, whereas in TLS it is used to create a pseudo random function, and in SSL message authentication code protocol is used, whereas in TLS hashed message authentication code protocol is used. SSL is complex and TLS is a simple transport layer security. SSL is less secured, whereas TLS provides high security. Yes, ma'am, that's it, ma'am.
Okay. Somebody else would have looked into some other website. So can you share? Good, Akash. Akash has shared some basic differences between your SSL. He said what it stands for. SSL is for secure socket layer. The other one is for TLS. As he said, SSL supports your Forteza and the TLS does not support that. And SSL, version 3. Version 3 is being used. That's the current version. Whereas the other one is version 1. Okay. So your SSL master digest is used to create your master secret. And in TLS, what is being used? Pseudo random function, right? Pseudo random function is being used. Okay. So in SSL, MAC protocol is being used. Okay. Whereas in TLS, hashed message authentication code protocol is being used. HMAC. SSL MAC is being used. TLS HMAC is being used. Okay. So SSL is actually, TLS is actually simple, whereas your SSL is complex. Okay. So security wise, your TLS is provides more security when compared to your SSL. Okay. So then can somebody else find out, has anybody else found out any other difference between SSL and TLS? I think it's time for the next class. Sorry, I do have another class. I'll stop the discussion with here. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.